Hello everyone, and welcome to the last video in our CG Look Back series. And what a series it's been, as I've taken kind of a trip down memory lane to the place where it became less memory based. Don't think about that statement too much. I didn't either. And some of these videos, it's been kind of difficult choosing songs. I had to think about what's a good Final Fantasy song that kind of fits this character, personality-wise, elements, themed, and all of that stuff. And thankfully, this one was really easy. So today we're looking at CG Sid, or CG Wind Veritas, if you prefer. That's weird. The featured unit is it's supposed to be Sid. Let's not think about it. Now, first of all, let's take a look at his animations, because honestly, I love the way this guy looks. He's sprite. Green is my favorite color, and dragoons are one of my favorite classes in Final Fantasy, so needless to say, this unit is just kind of a match made in heaven for me. And not to mention, this CG animation is really friggin' cool. So yeah, let's take a look one more time at that. I mean, it's a giant wind dragon. Come on, you guys. This unit was basically built for me. Long story short, I gotta say, absolutely amazing sprite. Good job, Alum. And Alum artists, particularly. Shout out to the Alum artists, the guys who make these sprites and animations and CD videos. We never really thank them, and we should. So long story short, let's take a look at CG Sid. Now, CG Sid's Trust Mastery ended up being perfect for him and not good for basically anybody else who isn't a Dragoon. 50% true dual hand, 75% jump damage, and 50% limit burst fill rate. And I think Alum made a mistake when they put this out, because giving them that much jump damage is... it's kind of insane, you guys. It is a lot of jump damage to give. Especially when you stack 3 or 4, you can get a lot of jump damage off of this guy. As a matter of fact, it's been said that he can hit the jump cap, and I absolutely believe it. But hey, if you don't believe me, you can go check out any of my CG Sid videos. I did some cool things in those videos. Super Trust Mastery wise, a 2-handed spear, 175 attack, wind element, and 1 to 1.5 times variance. Now, I've said this before. While this is a nice Trust Mastery, Super Trust Mastery, it's not necessary for Sid. Sid actually underperforms with this Super TMR, as it turns out. While it is very, very strong, it is actually better to just put an element on him through imbuing and just put Arenea's Spear, because Arenea's Spear has 100% extra jump damage, which more than makes up for the attack difference. Seriously, considerably, and all of those other words. Now, stat-wise, 203 base attack with 65 extra points. His spirit's actually pretty darn good. His defense a little bit less so, but he still has a fair amount of HP, so he's a pretty strong build. Maybe some problems with survivability. He does have other options too. He can equip katanas and greatswords, which give him different options as opposed to just spears, and gives him a lot of range of elements, as well as potential killers that are on these things. Honestly, that's really nice. Now, when it comes to damage, limit burst first. Limit burst is a 1400% AoE one-hit magic physical attack, ignoring 50% defense, so it's pretty strong. But in his kit, the big thing about his kit is that he has a lot of jumping abilities. I don't know if you've heard about it, these dragoons, but they like to jump. Anyway, long story short, he doesn't really have much in the way of anything on the ground. Pretty much everything in his kit is designed just for jump damage. And that's good, because his TMR, as well as his kit, strongly supports jump damage. Now, jump damage has been said by some people that it's just not enough to make up for 3 turns spent. And I 100% disagree with that, based on some of the things I've done in testing. Even using 3 turns to unlock his most powerful time jump, which is an 1850% time jump, is 100% worth it, as I've actually rolled over the damage counter. And if you don't know what I'm talking about there's basically a hard cap in the game that says, well, you can do this much damage, and after that, it doesn't compute. So the other day, or a little while ago, I was basically doing against the training dummy, and Sid did so much damage with a particular setup that the game said, no, you did way over 2 billion points of damage. You can't. We're not counting it, which broke my brain a little bit at the time. I was like, I just want to be on top of the leaderboards, please, because ego. Anyway, long story short, Sid is more than capable in doing a ton of damage, and for all those pesky integer fights, Sid has a lot of natural beast killer in his kit, which is super strong. He doesn't even technically need to use some of his timed ability, or his unlock ability. Instead, he can just use his self 2-turn plus 200% physical damage from his beast, 1-turn time jump at 850% that basically destroys beasts. Put an element on for more fun. Long story short, I think that Sid has a huge amount of damage potential. Now, again, same problem as CG Ignacio. How are you supposed to fit him into a party? Well, obviously you would try and do maybe some OTK setup, which is, in theory, quite possible given how much damage I've seen CG Sid be able to output. Especially with a couple of wind chainers and a wind debuff and some human killers. Long story short, Sid is very, 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 very powerful, and will continue to be powerful for a long time. The fact that he can chain into over 2 billion points of damage with the correct setup on the training dummy is telling just how powerful he is. Whoops, that's the... What was that? Oh, there's Sid! He made it back in time. I guess he used his 15-turn jump. Which, yes, he does have a 15-turn jump, but if you use his cooldown ability that gives AoE dodge to the team, then it just is a 1-turn jump. But I guess we forgot to use that ability for this review. Long story short, I really like Sid. He is definitely one of my favorite units in the game. Wind Veritas, I was never super crazy about the design, but I'm always a big fan of dragoons. And thankfully, finally, Alum was able to deliver a really good one. And not only that, but his TMRs, they bode well for the future of dragoons. Hey, maybe sometime, Alum will remember that Final Fantasy XIV is a thing, and Heavensward was a thing, and that would be almost an absolute guaranteed another amazing dragoon in our future. So dragoons, they're definitely not down, and they're definitely not out. And if you say that they just can't do enough damage, well, I got a few videos that say otherwise. So thank you very much for for joining me for this video series of looking back on CG units. I've really enjoyed taking a look back and giving a little bit of extra attention to the CG Veritas, as well as the guy who ruined the damage meta for a while. It has been a fantastic group of CG units, and only enhancements and whatever new abilities they get from story events will tell us in the future how good these units can truly yet become. But for now, it has definitely been fun. I am so happy that I was able to complete the Veritas collection, because I never did complete the Veritas collection. Dark Veritas is forever going to be a pain in my side, because I never got it. Anyway, so that's it for this video series, and of course, all of this is leading into our next group of CG units, which will start, of course, with the Holy Man, the guy that if there's going to be some big change in the game, it's probably going to be based in some way around him, CG Axstar. So look forward to that review. whatever the hell Axstar ends up being. Honestly, at this point, I have no clue. But you know what? Before we go, we finally got a CG or a Sid in the game. God bless you, Dragoons. Fly ever high.